In this episode, I want to share my journey with you. My name is Anneli, founder of Mind and Muscle Beyond 40, an all-in-one ecosystem that will help you to navigate midlife, get stronger, healthier, and happier while understanding how your hormones work. So in 2005, I decided to leave South Africa, the sunny shores of South Africa, to come to the UK. It was the middle of winter, it was January, and I don't think I was prepared for the adjustment of the weather, leaving my family behind and adjusting to life in London. So within a year, I had gained around 10 to 12 kilograms. I completely lost my confidence. I had started developing toxic habits like binge eating, binge drinking. I was working in a very male-dominated sales environment. And so it was all the things. It was the perfect storm. So ultimately, what happened was I lost my confidence. I just didn't feel like me anymore. And I knew something had to change. And what I did was what most women do when they panic. They turn to cardio. So I arrived in London when I was 22. By the time I was about 27, so 5 years in, I had gained quite a lot of weight. I was unhappy, but then I turned to cardio. So I then lost all the weight, but I also lost all my muscle mass. So I'm 5'11". I'm a tall girl. I'm a long, tall Sally, right? So I lost all my muscle mass and I was just skinny, fat. So I had no definition. I had lots of loose skin and I just wasn't feeling my best, but I had lost the weight. So I was happy, right? But I was tired all the time. I had lots of niggles. Runners will know that if your form is not on point, you pick up all the injuries. I picked up all the injuries. I'm a tall girl. I was kind of hunching when I was running. I started developing hip issues. And I just knew that I couldn't keep doing that, but I didn't know what to do. So fast forward 27, I meet my husband, Wayne, who is an ex-Ironman. And Wayne introduces me to weight training. So I started going to the gym with Wayne. I started lifting weights while still doing the cardio, because God forbid I should give up the cardio while I do weight training. So started doing the weight training, still did the cardio, and then started noticing a change in, it's coming, water's coming. I then started noticing a change in my body composition, and also my relationship with food, because the penny dropped and I realized that I have to feel my body to be able to lift well in the gym. So I stopped being scared of carbohydrates. I stopped worrying so much about the calories, but I did start keeping track of what I was eating. So I knew how many calories I was eating. I knew what kind of foods made me feel better than others. And I just tried to stick to those foods 80% of the time, and it worked. So by the time I turned 30, I had changed my body composition. I now had decent arms. I always used to joke with Wade and say, I want to have arms that people will tell me, oh my God, you work out, don't you? I mean, I know, it's so superficial, but I always wanted that because I was always so self-conscious about my arms. I remember always wearing cardigans where I wouldn't actually get my arms out because I was so embarrassed because my arms were so fat. Now, that's my issues, but it was so nice to get to a point where I could wear the sleeveless tops, right? Rock the little strappy tops. And now it's a million years later and I can walk around in a crop top in the gym, which I never thought I would do in a million years. So the journey has spanned over about 20 years to where I am now. Anyway, back to my story. So ultimately, I started changing my body composition, but then I started throwing in HIIT, a lot of high intensity interval training, because I still thought I had to sweat it out. I had to sweat it out alongside the weight training. So I did. I threw in all the HIIT. I did my weight training at that point, probably 4-5 times a week. And I was also working a lot. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have multiple businesses, and the main part being photography. So I was traveling all over the world. I was shooting all over. I was carrying lots of gear on me. And it started taking its toll. And in 2019, I had just come out of a very busy season and I burnt out. I had a mini meltdown in France when a wasp bit my hand and it wouldn't stop biting me. I had to literally yank it off my hand and I just cried and I couldn't stop crying. And so I burnt out and I realized, okay, something had to give. So, work being work, obviously having a better work-life balance is important, but I knew that something had to give with my training. So then I started going into my 30s. By the time I was 35, I had a better balance of more focus on weight training and nutrition and less focus on the really high intensity workouts. And it also started paying off because I wasn't tired all the time. I didn't have all the niggles and I was able to recover better. So my little burnout coming into my 30s taught me a lot. And I think when I turned 40, again, everything shifted for me because then the hormonal lens sort of came into play. I started noticing shifts in my mood and just how I felt in terms of how I was handling stress in my life. And so the weight training again became my refuge because for me, weight training has created a very strong growth mindset over the years because I'm incredibly comfortable being uncomfortable. I know it sounds strange, but that is what a growth mindset is. And it also means that you're constantly looking to challenge yourself. So there's one thing I've learned over the years is to challenge myself continuously. And I do. Every year I do something new. I always try and follow a new program. So I write my own programs, but every so often I will buy a program just to shake things up because I want to push myself in more ways than one. So coming into my 40s, I really leaned into my personal development sort of phase. And I started really spending more time reading the books that would challenge my mindset, that would help me grow and really focus on being as resilient as I possibly could be going into my 40s. So today I'm 42. I'm turning 43 actually in just over a week and a half's time. 43, baby. And I think this became my journey, my own transformation, my own understanding my body better, learning to work with it, not against it, became the reason for me starting Mind and Muscle Beyond 40, which is an all-in-one wellness ecosystem. It's a framework that helps women aged over 35 to combine the different aspects of what it means for us to look after ourselves. So it focuses on mind, muscle, nutrition, biohacking, which just means simple biology hacks that you can use in your life to hack your body, and then managing menopausal symptoms. I am perimenopausal, and I am very fit, I'm very healthy, I'm very strong. And so this just shows you as well that perimenopause and hormonal shifts can happen to all of us. It does happen to all of us, just to varying degrees. And it's nothing to be ashamed about. I have been on HRT already. I came off HRT and I'm navigating that journey in terms of what it means for me as my hormones shift and what it means also in terms of my training. So I'm using all my knowledge. I'm using my own transformation, and being a growth mindset junkie, I'm a qualified personal trainer, level 3 personal trainer. I'm also a spinning instructor, love a bit of spin. I'm a cold plunge coach, so I help women and men. I just help people really delve into that resilience. So challenging them from a mindset point of view and a physical point of view to do hard things like cold plunging because it makes you stronger. I also teach a strength circuit in a heated studio. And that is an example of biohacking. You've got the hot, you've got the cold, and it all helps. It all improves your metabolism. So, and your mindset, obviously. And I'm also a certified menopause movement coach because as I started navigating my own perimenopause symptoms, I realized that I needed to understand what it meant from a movement point of view, what it means from a nutrition point of view, what it means from a mindset point of view, and the changes that we are undergoing in midlife. So I understand where you're coming from, and I'm using all of these knowledge points to help you navigate your own journey. So, by the way, if you're listening to this on my podcast, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're on here on YouTube watching me on this lovely beach in Marbella, please hit the like button and subscribe. But I am here to share the journey with you. I'm here to guide you in your journey of strength, resilience, so that you can age well as you head into your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. I have women in the Mind and Muscle Beyond 40 coaching group who range from their mid-30s to 40s into their 60s. And you know what? What I love most is kind of seeing how the journey is different for each of them. But MMB40 is built on compassion. So what I like to encourage women to do is to pull on the lever that is going to make the most difference to you right now. So maybe it's just sleeping better. So I guide women on their sleeping habits. Maybe it's learning how to actually start doing weight training in a safe way that works for your body. So I've got programs designed suitable for all levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced. I've got you, babes. And then we look at nutrition. Maybe it's just understanding how much protein you need to be eating. Women don't eat enough protein. I eat so much protein, honestly. But it's so important as we age and as our bodies change and as our hormones shift, the protein is your main focus. So I have women coming into the community where they don't want to track their macros, their macronutrients and their calories. That's fine. At least just focus on protein. That's your most important aspect. And we have seen some fantastic results from women just doing that. And then from a mindset point of view, you know, I think it's understanding that this is not, midlife is not a slippery slope. It's not downhill. This could be a wonderful period for you to transform yourself if you lean into it and you embrace change, you embrace new things. And that's exactly why I created Mind and Muscle Beyond 40. Because I want to use what I've learned in my journey and I want to help you navigate your own in a supportive, kind, compassionate way. So that's my journey. And here I am, turning 42 in just over a week's time. And I'm excited about what the future holds. And I'm so excited to create more videos like this, not always in exotic locations like this. But stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, stick around. There'll be loads more. And if you're curious about Mind and Muscle Beyond 40, go and check out the website. So Club MMB40 is a group coaching offering. And then I've also got one-to-one coaching options for you. So if you need a reset, I've got the MMB40 6-week reset. And I've also got the Legacy Body program, which is 12 weeks of working with me, changing your life. So if that sounds amazing, check it out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.